Get $3 off every order at PlayAsia by using the code CENSORED.
You may recall how in a recent Censored Gaming video, it mentioned how I decided to send the ESRB an email asking why games are treated just so much stricter than things like movies and TV. You should be able to find a link to the video in question on the screen now, so please make sure to go check that out as well. But in summary, a big part of the video was taking a look at what the ESRB calls principles and guidelines for responsible advertising practices. This is a big long list of rules that all video game advertising must follow. This includes things like trailers, commercials, and even video game covers on shop shelves. In the sexual part of the rules, the ESRB says that any overtly sexualized depictions of a character's body parts, such as breasts and buttocks, are not allowed. And this is the reason why changes like these have to often be made in the US. This might seem strange though, as also in the US you'll be able to find tits everywhere from magazine covers to TV commercials. So why do the ESRB have these rules then, that treat games so much worse? Well, a communications manager at the ESRB has now responded to my request for a comment, and here's what they had to say. First, they clarified that when game advertising is examined, they look at each on a case-by-case basis and don't just look at the content, but also the context. They explain that they have no insight or control into how other mediums operate from an advertising or standards perspective, and can only speak for games and the standards which the industry has agreed to establish and have the ESRB enforce. So with them talking about taking things like context into consideration, it might seem that the rules may not be as strict as was thought. However, they finish by pointing out that they also must be mindful of the broader population that may come across an ad. It is with this point where all the restrictions seem to be coming from. Despite a game being rated mature, for example, its advertising must still keep in mind things like children who may end up stumbling across the material. So in summary, the ESRB aren't able to talk about how other mediums operate, but yes, the ESRB does regulate advertising, and despite children being allowed to see sex on things like TV all of the time, the ESRB doesn't see this as a reason to start allowing these things in video game advertising. The communications manager finished by saying they are happy to take any other questions, so Censored Gaming is asking you, what do you think about all of this, and is there anything you'd like to see asked? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thank you for watching.